evening. Welcome to MicahMan's apiary. I've got 3 hives here, and the 3rd hive is what we're going to focus on this evening. I need to add a honey super to this hive. It was really getting full last week, but I didn't have an extra honey super, and so now they're really bursting at the seams. The eggs, the larva has hatched and has come out, and now we have a lot of worker bees. You can see they're really filling up the entrance, and they're hanging out front just to cool off. There's so many bees in there. So let's get to it. I'll get my veil on, gloves on, and we'll check the hive before I put the honey super on. Hopefully everything is a-okay, in order, and we can still add that honey super on. I've got the honey super right here, my gloves and everything back here. I've got my queen excluder, my hive cover, and let's see here. Oh, my hive tool. I was looking for my hive tool. It's right here. So it's got that. So I'm gonna get my white shirt on. Instead of putting a full suit on, I just put an old white shirt on. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Just waiting for a few folks to hop on. Waiting for a few folks to hop on here. Welcome to the stream. Anyway, let me know if it's all working. Hopefully I set up the live stream correctly. So we'll be digging into the hive here shortly. All right. Let's check out these bees, see how they are doing tonight. Oh, I love fresh honey. I love fresh honey. So, good to see 2 people tuned in. I'm sure as I dig into this hive, more will join in. You can see the bees right up front here really just relaxed. That's great to see. I might not even need my veil, but just to be safe, I'm wearing it. I put these in around April 20th. So they've been in almost 2 months now. I added this deep super on about 3 weeks ago. Maybe 3.5 weeks ago. Getting my gloves on just so I don't get stung. I don't want to risk it. One went up my shirt last week, stung me, my belly. One thing I was going to do is, this is an old hive box. I wanted to put a shorter one on it. So, it's just something I wanted to do. I wanted to switch covers. All right, now let's dig into this one, see what it's looking like inside the hive. Who's ready for the close-up of the hive? They seem calm. All right, this is what it looks like on the inside cover. I don't see any queen. All right, so let's pop this inner cover off. Pop that inner cover off. Always do it gently so that it doesn't startle the bees. As you can see, I need some new hive boxes. That might be an investment for this winter. Hopefully my hives make it, my bees live through the winter. Not sure if they will, but I hope they do. I hope my bees know me by now. They're really hanging out because they're trying to cool off. I don't think they're trying to swarm because they're really calm. They aren't going crazy. Let me see if I can show you. I don't see the queen on here at all. I don't see the queen. You always double check just to be safe. You don't want to squish the queen. Let me see if I can take this off and show y'all what's going on here. Not sure how many of you have seen this, but hey, thanks for the likes. Appreciate that. Right down under, I'll get down low. You can see the bees taking a break right out front here, hanging out in front of the hives. Who in the chat knows what this is called? Who in the chat knows what this technique the bees use to cool off, to hang out front is called? Let me know in the comments what this is called. Be curious to see if anyone knows what this technique by the bees is called. They hang out front to cool off. It's been a very, very hot day. And they're cooling off. The other hives the other hives are doing it too. This one, not as much. But you can see this one, they're hanging out front. Just kind of relaxing, cooling off, shooting the breeze. But that's how they cool off. Bees cool off like this. It gets to a certain temperature inside the hive and they can't stand that. So just listen closely as you hear the buzzing. You can see the bees bringing in pollen from the field. I'm just about to put that third honey. You can see that bright yellow pollen right there. I love to see that. The bees are buzzing in. I'm going to be putting a honey super on that third hive shortly, but I just want you guys to get a view of this. I'll be quiet. Hello, Barrel Racer and Bakir Bulaiki. So, look at these bees. They aren't even buzzing, coming at me. So, we're going to add that third super there. And let's add that third super on. This is a fun job. At times it gets a little crazy, but right now they're very calm, which I appreciate. They're not going crazy. I'm just making sure my lens is clear. I want you guys to be able to see clearly. I'll flip the camera back around so you can see what we're really here to see, which is the bees, not me. All right, here we go. Let's get into this. Get you a little closer to the action. All right. Oh, let's see here. Let's slip it back in here, and I'm gonna tighten this back up. Let's see what's inside the hive. All right. So we're gonna add that third super on shortly. Right there, you can see it. But first, we're gonna check on these bees. Now, I hope they don't get too crazy, too upset. Oh man, this is looking so good. Oops, I just made those bees upset. Yikes. They did not like that. He just kicked over the inner cover. They do not like being... Okay, folks, this is what I love to see. Yes, yes. I love to see this. Now, look at that. Look at that. Right there, you have pollen stores there. Got some fresh honey on the end there. Oh man, that looks so good. Man, now look over here. You love to see that brood pattern. Consistent. The rest is filled with pollen. That shows you I really need to get it filled, get those honey supers on. So let's get this back in here. Hopefully they don't go too crazy. Just gonna move one more frame over to inspect. Just be safe. See what this one looks like. Oh, it looks amazing. I love it. Look at that. Y'all can see that, but love to see that sight. You have all the capped brood there just about to hatch. Those are going to be all the female worker bees. Beautiful. Fully capped frames. This side looks amazing. So I've got 2 hive boxes beautifully full of honeybees. And I hope that they're not liking me right now. I have 1 or 2 buzzing at my face, but that's okay. Let's get this one slipped back in there carefully. Hopefully I don't smush the queen or anything. They're really liking this. All right, we're gonna slip this back in there carefully. And we're gonna add the third super. They look healthy. They're not upset. They're calm. And I don't want to, you want a calm hive. That is really one of the best things to see, a calm hive. Now these are Italian, so they're going to be a little calmer than other bees, than Russian bees or than some other bees. But we're going to put that queen excluder on, like this. This is the queen excluder. Actually, I'm going to scrape off some of this top part here, just so they have enough room to move around. Right, I don't want to squish any bees on that queen excluder. Just scrape this off. We're going to put that. The queen excluder keeps the queen from going up into the honey area. So the queen can't fit through this frame. And that's the purpose of the queen excluder, is to keep the queen from laying eggs in the honey super, which I will show you shortly. Okay. Well, I didn't like that. I just made some of them upset. I'm going to try to move this out of the way as well. Okay. Let's see if I can put this on there without smushing any of these too much. There we go. So, the queen shouldn't be able to fit through that. That's the goal. That's the plan. All right, now let's get this honey super on. The bees will clean all this up, make it beautiful. All right, now I hope that they take to this box. Let me just pull a frame out. Okay, right now, you are my witness. This is empty, but it should fill up shortly with honey. That's the goal, that's the purpose. Hopefully they'll clean this up, because I actually got this from a friend who's generous enough to let me use this. I'm hoping that the bees fill this up chock full with honey. I'd love to see that filled up by before the middle of July. Let's see if these things take off. Now, what I'm gonna trick them into doing, got some huddled here. What I think I might do is I'm gonna catch some of these bees. I don't know if it's a bad idea or a good idea, but we're gonna throw them on here. All right, I just put that whole little swarm there. You're on my glove. They're right there. I just just took them from the bottom of the hive and threw them on here. Right, they're crawling all over my glove and everything. All right, now I'm gonna put them in the honey super. Just make sure the queen isn't down there, which I don't think the queen would be outside the hive. That would be kind of stupid. But we're gonna introduce them to the hive this way. All right, now we got some bees up there. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, we tricked them. We got them up there. All right, we'll cap this one. We'll check it in about a week or two to make sure it's being filled up with honey. All right, so you see the bottom of the hive there? Those bees are cooling off. Cooling off. This is gonna be some amazing honey. This middle hive, we're gonna actually check on. We're gonna see what is up with this middle hive. Is it succeeding? Is it producing honey? We are gonna find out here very, very shortly. Linda Royalty, hello. Steven, hello. Hi says hi. Well, hello. Ratijan Yan, hello. Bina Sardar, hello. Great to see ya. All right. So what we're gonna do here, whoops. See if I can get this to stand up right. Figuring this out here, folks. We're checking on my beehives here. Bear with me. We're going to dig into this hive and see what we've got cooking. What are the bees making here? All right. I just added this honey super on. I think it was folks in the comments remind me when I added this on. I think it was last week. This is just the honey super. All right, and actually, we have a little hive inspection area over here, and that did not work. Oh, and I just dropped the handle. Did anyone see that? Well, here it is. Perfect. Kind of like nothing like finding a needle in a haystack. So we're gonna pop this out, and the bees are slowly filling up the honey stores. I don't think they're as aggressive as I'd like them to be, but let's see if there's any honey in it. Yeah, I mean they're working at it. They're working at it. I think they're filling it up, so that's what I like to see. We'll just let them be. They're healthy. They're good. Let's check this hive over here, folks. Right over here, we're gonna check this hive. This one here was doing really well. Marlene, I'm glad you're in. Hello, Yen. Great to see you. This is Bee Hives. If you're wondering where honey comes from, well, you're looking at it, folks. This is where the honey comes from. God's beautiful creation here. The bees. I mean, his creation. Whoops, sorry about that. His creation is truly marvelous. This will give you a bird's eye view of what's happening here. This is a viewfinder, if you want to call that, or observation deck. All right, so here's an observation deck. It's kind of cool because I can come and inspect the hive here without really disturbing the bees. Now, I'm not sure if you can see any honey in there. I don't think I can really see the honey in there, but they're in there. Pretty soon I should see honey just not caked, but just stored in there by the bees. So I'm really hoping that they start producing like crazy in the hive. Sometimes the end frames are done last, so that could be why. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Yen. All right, now we're gonna show you the front entrance of the hive here shortly. This will be the front entrance of the hive. So, started keeping bees about 15 years ago. Had help from a friend. I only have 3 hives right now. I used to have more, but this is about as much as I can handle for right now. I'm looking to keep them alive all through the winter. It gets pretty cold here. Last year we had about 2 cold snaps. Let me get this off. I don't need to be talking through this. Last year we had about 2 cold snaps, and it, I think, killed a lot of bees. It was warm-ish, then it got super cold, warmed up a tiny bit, then it got super cold again, and I think that just killed off a lot of the bees, unfortunately. And I have people that make a living off beekeeping, and they lost almost all their bees, that's a lot to recover. It's hard to recover from that, but farmers don't quit. And agriculture, bees are in the agriculture field, and you don't quit. You learn to improvise to get better at what you do, but always learn from your mistakes. So we're basically done checking my hives today. Yeah, we do need more bees. So this hive is really cooling off. I just threw some in the upper part. I put the honey super on. That's where they're going to store the honey. They have honey in both lower boxes, but that's where they have the brood. Those are the 2 brood boxes where they store pollen and honey. And each one, I have 2 deeps. These 2 have the brood. The queen lays eggs. They have store honey for wintertime. They have pollen in there for energy. And then right here, same thing. 2 brood boxes, pollen, honey, brood. When I checked on them last week, they were doing great. So I'll probably wait another week before I actually dig into the hives. The signs are that they're healthy. That one is not quite as active out front, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I'll keep an eye on that one to make sure that it doesn't slow down in honey production and the bees are staying active. Let me just get you close and listen to the beehives. It's very calming. to hear beehives. I hope I don't get stung doing this. But I'm gonna set you right down close and let's listen closely to the bees. Can you hear that, folks? Watch them come in with the pollen on their legs. I just love seeing the bees come in with their nectar. You can see the pollen actually on their legs. Watch closely, see if you can see the pollen coming in on the legs. Right now they're eating nectar. See it? You see that yellow? They're eating nectar from the locust trees, drinking nectar. Watch closely for the pollen on their legs. I love seeing the pollen. I'm gonna try to show you one when they come in with their pollen on the legs. They fly right there. See that yellow? Oh, that was beautiful. It's amazing how they gather the pollen in sacks and then right there, see it? See that right there? That one has some nice light colored pollen. Look at that. You see that, folks? Look at that pollen. Look, pollen sacs on that honeybee. It's trying to find its way in or cool off. I don't really know what it's doing up front there, but it's pretty cool. Look at that. Look at her go. Go, girl. So these are the bees that I am stewarding right now. Oh, look at that yellow pollen right there. Isn't that cool? Look at the bees. Look at that pollen right there. See that yellow sacs? I'm just inches away from this hive and they haven't stung me yet. I love seeing them fly in, cool off. Look at that one carrying out a dead bee. Look at that. It's carrying out something dead. That was pretty cool. Wow. I hope you're enjoying this. Glad you can hear the bees. Next time now folks, when you get honey from the store, it's not gonna taste like it is from the hive. You gotta get honey that's fresh, that's local, not stuff from the store that's been pasteurized and boiled, and you gotta get the pure form honey. And you really don't go for the cheapest stuff. It's not worth it. It doesn't taste the same. You gotta go for the stuff make sure it doesn't have wax in it. Some people don't harvest their honey carefully, but find a reputable supplier, local person, whoever, and get some honey. I mean, it's just local honey in your coffee, in your tea, on peanut butter sandwiches. It's awesome. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that close-up look. Judy, thanks for tuning in and saying hi. We'll just come over here. I'll be quiet for a little bit and let you watch the beehives here and the honeybees flying in. Right now, they're so calm. Hopefully they stay calm. This is a little less congested. I think they're a little cooler over here. That end one gets the most sun. Look at that. Look at that pollen. It's so cool. There's some bright yellow pollen. I wonder what that's from. Maybe squash plants. I don't know. If you buy honeycomb, you can spit out the wax, yes. But you gotta really make sure that it's young honeycomb. If you get honeycomb, you can spit it out, but you don't really want to eat too much honeycomb necessarily. So the bees here are buzzing beautifully. Just watch them fly in. And for those of you just tuning in, some of you have heard this multiple times now, but watch for the bees as they fly in. You'll see some that have bright yellow pollen on them, some with a creamy yellow pollen. And I'll point that out as soon as they fly in if you can't see it. I'll try to show you the pollen when it comes in. They go in pretty quick. Oh, that one had a little bit of pollen on it. All right. I love the buzzing. You can hear the buzzing. Look at the communication these bees have. Their antennas, their little dances. Look at those ones fanning, cooling off the hive. See right? Oops, right there. They're fanning off the hive. Look at them. Look at got their behinds in the air. Look at them. They are just working hard. They're cooling the hive off. They're cooling the entrance of the hive. I know it's kind of hard to see. Itasiera pak hello. I just love seeing those bees. That's amazing. They're cooling the hive off. That's really, really neat. Look at them go. I mean, they're just going. They're not stopping. Oh, you see the pollen? Oh, I thought I saw one with pollen on it. Look at them flying in here. Just watch them as they fly in, the communication. They have guard bees that check to make sure. Hello, Daniel and Mary. They have guard bees that check as the bees come in to make sure. And you know what? Isn't it funny? Even bees have walls. Even bees have walls. Don't tell me walls aren't important. These guard bees, if you try to get into that hive, they are going to sting you like crazy. You better get out. But look at these bees over here, fanning away, cooling off the hive. I love seeing that. Isn't that neat? Just listen closely. Anyway, well, folks, it's so good to have each of you tuning in. I hope this is enjoyable for you all. It's enjoyable for me. Oh, there's some pollen right there. I don't know if you saw that. Hopefully I see another girl coming in with some pollen. The pollen sacs are just amazing. Look at them talking. They're communicating with one another. I just love to see these bees communicating, talking, helping one another out. And then you got the workers over there still fanning. You are welcome, Yen. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in from the land down under. Look at these ones down underneath, just hanging out, trying to cool off. Taking an afternoon siesta. They hang on to one another. It's pretty cool. Look at that. Look at how they just hang on. All of that. Isn't that amazing how they can just hang there? That's amazing. Look at that, folks. That is truly amazing. Look at those bees just hanging. And then they all hang on to one another. Look at the detail on those bees. Truly amazing. Look at that pollen right there. Look at the pollen. Anyway. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in. That's about it for, maybe I'll just show you one more time the hive over here. There's a lot of activity, and I think you guys would enjoy seeing this. Let me just get to this side real quick. These bees are just absolutely stunning. Bees hang out to cool off. Look at these. See, we have some fanners over here. These guys are cooling the hive. The ones with their you could say rear ends in the air, I guess. Those ones are fanning the hive. They're cooling off the hive. That is their job. They don't complain. And look at this one right here. Oh, where is it? Oh, it just disappeared. It was flying in with sacks of pollen. I just love how the beehives get along. Oh, look at that. Look at that pollen. Oh, that was so cool. You have the guard bees. You have the worker bees tending to the young ones. Look at that pollen right there. Look at them go. So for those of you just tuning in, there's a few bees right up front. They're facing towards the hive, but they're standing there. Those ones are fanning the hive and keeping it cool. All right, now look at these bees. It's hard to see these ones, but right over here, look at these bees. They're just hanging from the hive. Hanging out, cooling down. If bees get too hot, they die. These ones here are cooling it down. Oh wow, the bees are getting close to me. Ew, they're buzzing around me. Anyway, well, I really appreciate all of you tuning in. Let's see if we can see anything else pretty cool besides me getting stung. Let's see if we can see some more pollen flying in. This one right there. See that? The ones with pollen really going quick. Let's see if we can see it again here. I feel like the ones with pollen go in right here at the center. Look at how they go, travel, and walk over one another. Like they're talking to them, sending a message. So we have the bees here at the beehive. See them flying in. I'm hoping to point out some more pollen as I see it coming in. Bees are truly amazing. There's some pollen. Oh, it just flew away again. There's a girl coming in with some pollen. Right about. Look at that one shaking. It's communicating where the nectar is. When they're doing these little dances, that's telling them which direction to go, where the pollen is. I don't know if you saw that. It's pretty amazing though. I hope my bees are happy. All right, folks. Well, thanks for tuning in. Have a great rest of your night. Take care. God bless. And may we just be reminded of God's marvelous creation. And as you guys are watching, may I just close by saying God loves each and every one of you. You know what? He knows every single bee here. He cares about him, but you know what? He cares even more for each of us, his children, his creation. We as humans are made in the image of God. The bees aren't made in the image of God. Humans are, and Jesus Christ, the creator God who made these amazing bees, God sent his son Jesus Christ to die for each one of us so that we can have our sins forgiven and a home in heaven. And by trusting alone in Jesus Christ, you can have peace with God today. Jesus makes peace when you trust him. It's who died on the cross for your sins, who rose from the dead. He can save you and give you eternal life. So some of you may have never heard of this before, but it's right in the Bible. Whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. The same creator God who made these amazing bees wants to save you. So I just had to add that in. Super sport. Yeah, that is a ton of bees. There's about, how many bees in this hive? Well, when I put the package in, there was about 7,000 to 8,000. There's probably about 50,000 right now, 50,000 bees in here. And to be honest, you can have up to 100,000 plus bees in a hive at a time. So, y'all have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. And Super Sport, yeah, it is crazy. It's amazing to see how many bees can be in these hives. So when you have 300,000 bees in a summertime, that is pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm thankful for the bees' work. They do a lot, and I love to see how they work together. Anyway, y'all have, hey, greetings from the UK, Fabled Oak. Great to see a comrade honker. Thank you, it is beautiful. God created him, I just take care of him. If you ever just come out here, you know, some of you may not even believe in God, and I understand, but you study a beehive, you look at how complex a beehive is. I mean, a queen bee can lay up to 2,000 eggs a day. They work together. They learn to communicate. That didn't happen by accident. There is a creator. So, no bees, no life. Yep, God had a purpose for them. I just, look at these. I love to see how these guys are just hanging from their front legs. I don't know, let me just show you. See how they're just hanging there? Look at them. They're just hanging by like one or two legs. Look at how they just latch on like that and they hang there. It's crazy. I mean, in comparison to humans, they've got to have a lot of, I'm not sure how they're built, but they got to have strength. So anyway, folks, have a great day. Thanks for tuning in to MicahMan Live. Feel free to like and subscribe if you find any help from this content or if you find it enjoyable. Comrade Honker, great to hear from Ireland. Yes, they do. Oh, look at that one. You can see the pollen on that bee, right? Hold on, folks, hold on. Where's that bee? It had pollen right on its leg. I just love seeing the pollen and point it out. Anyway, I'm literally, let me just show you guys. I am super close to these hives. I mean, I'm this close and they're not singing me yet. I hope that stays that way. So this is pretty cool. Have a great day. Take care, everyone. We'll see you in the next video that comes out.